We have got a lot of concrete going down in this video. We're doing the front porch here with a step, and then a sidewalk and the whole garage apron, and then the back patio and porch as well. We've got 2 long days of pouring concrete here. Overall, this is a 2.5 day job for the crew because they were here setting all this up. Probably not half a day, but a few hours. Although the dirt work was all done by someone else. 4 guys laying all this mud. And concrete guys, if you don't know any, they are a unique breed, even among tradesmen. First off, I think they have the most tools in their truck out of any of the trades. They got to be prepared for absolutely everything. Second, they're really strong because concrete's very physically demanding, so they're even stronger than they look. And they're just extremely well organized. The amount of planning that goes into even a routine pour like this and scheduling, it would surprise you. And then you factor in that they have jobs all over town, you know, filling up their week and their month. There's just a lot going on, and they don't have the room for error. They can't always just step away from the job to go get something they forgot. So it's really a trade that requires a preparedness mindset. And on that note, they're also keeping track of the weather. I think concrete guys know the weather better than the meteorologists on the news. These guys know everything about what's coming, when it's coming, when they got a little window. They are very up to date. We've got rebar spaced here, 2 feet on center. This is 3/8 inch rebar. And these guys choose to do it without the little chairs, which I feel like this footage does a really good job of showing how that works. Now, obviously they lift it up and that raises the rebar up to the center of the slab. But you're probably thinking, well, yes, then they step on it and it just pushes it right back down. But it really doesn't. You kind of have to have poured concrete to realize this, but there's so many rocks in the mud, and those rocks get underneath the rebar when they pull it up. And then even if you do step on it, and they try to avoid it, but if they do step on the rebar, the rocks are bracing it up. So it's a fine way to do it. The concrete comes from Concrete Service. That's the local company. There is another concrete batch plant in town, Knife River. I think they're publicly traded now. They're massive. But Concrete Service just dominates around here. I see their trucks 10 times more, maybe more than that, maybe 15 or 20 times more. It's a family-owned and operated company. They're always sponsoring local events and sports teams and stuff like that. They sponsored a video on our spec house back in the day and donated a bunch of concrete. They're really a great part of the community, and I almost totally screwed them here. Look what's going on. Here's what happened. This is obviously totally muddy, and it's 100% my fault. It didn't occur to me that they were going to pour this out of the truck in the back. For some reason, I assumed they'd pump it. I never even thought twice about it. And a couple days before, I had been working and spreading dirt back here, and it was like 6 inches of dusty powder, and the wind was blowing it all around. So I put a sprinkler on it, thinking I'd kind of put a crust on it, and almost caused a huge problem. He got out. The driveway was absolutely detonated, just covered in mud, but could have been way worse. I felt really dumb. When John saw the site that morning, he was just like, he couldn't believe it. He's like, what have you done? But there was nothing we could do. So I was breathing a huge sigh of relief when he pulled out of there. These job sites are nice once the concrete trucks leave because it gets instantly silent. You kind of get used to that huge diesel engine and sometimes even a concrete pump. But then once they're gone, there's still tons of work to do, but the mood changes completely. It becomes way more peaceful. This is Night Construction, by the way. I haven't introduced them yet, but they are undoubtedly one of the best concrete crews in our area. Them along with Dustin. That's the crew my dad normally uses, who you've seen a lot. They're all friends. This is a small town, so they all know each other and help each other out. John and his guys do some really beautiful work, though. Not only do they do every decorative finish imaginable, stamped, stained, exposed, all the tricky joints, stairs, but they do the less glamorous but still very technical foundation work, like what you saw them do on this very house. This concrete is getting a sand finish, and let me explain how that works. First off, he hits it with this surface retarder. What that does is it keeps the outermost edge from going through the chemical reaction and getting hard. Everything underneath this, no change, but right at the surface, it does not get hard. And then after a couple hours of that sitting on there, when the concrete's hard enough to step on, they wash that retarder off. Actually, they kind of have to scrub it. He's got this brush here to really get it all out of the nooks and crannies. And that exposes the topmost layer of the concrete, which is the sand. If they exposed it deeper, you would see rocks. But with this finish, you just expose the top like 1/16 of an inch, and it exposes the sand. And around here, sand is brown. And so that's why the concrete gets this nice brown color. It really looks amazing. It might be the best concrete finish ever. John and his guys do a lot of stamped concrete also, which looks really cool. There's a million choices there of different textures and colors, and it's all great. It's really just a matter of personal preference. I like the sand finish because it's a really natural look, and it's also really grippy. You're never going to slip on it. After the top layer is washed off, they hit the concrete with acid. That's what Mitch has. He's spraying a layer of acid. I don't know the mixture here. It's diluted. But they hit it with acid, and then John quickly comes back and washes that acid off. This is what's going on. As the concrete's getting hard, most of the water is bonding with the concrete and getting hard, but some of the water is evaporating. Either way, the water is leaving. And it can leave behind efflorescence, which is minerals and salts that are visible. So sometimes you can see this on concrete. It looks like a stain. It's white and grayish. It is not pretty. And by coating this with acid, the acid eats that away and leaves just the concrete. And then once that's gone, they seal it. They gave it 3 coats of sealer, and as you can see, this all happens in the same day, which some guys will spread these processes out over a few days, the different steps of washing and sealing and all that, but these guys have figured out a way to do it all in one day. The next morning, they're back early again to pour the driveway apron and the sidewalk, and this is the exact same steps, the exact same mud, and the idea is to try to get the exact same finish, so when you look at it, you can never tell that it happened in 2 different days. So I'll put a photo up at the very, very, very end so you can see how they did on that. But I didn't film the second day quite as close. I figured you guys had seen enough, so I'll just let this play out with some music. Enjoy this time lapse. It's always annoying to me how great the time lapses are. I spend so much effort filming with the drone and the big camera, and then I always prefer the GoPro footage at the end of the day anyways, but there we go. We'll let it roll out with that. Thanks for watching, guys. Keep up the good work. We've got a few more videos left on our house here, and then we're going to move in, so very much looking forward to that. Take it easy, guys.